In today's class, we will learn the variable frequency control of a synchronous motor drive. Before going to the variable frequency control, let us have a close look on some basics of synchronous motor. A three-phase synchronous motor is fed by a three-phase AC supply. This is similar to the case of three-phase induction motor. When a three-phase AC supply is given to the stator winding, it will produce a rotating magnetic flux. But in the case of induction motor, this rotating magnetic flux will induce an EMF in the rotor conductors, and since the rotor conductors are closed circuit, a current will be flowing through it. And this induced current is responsible for the electromagnetic torque. But in the case of synchronous motor, the rotor is excited by a DC current. Therefore, there are two excitations. One is AC supply to the stator, and second is DC current to the rotor. The most important property of this synchronous motor is that it will run at constant speed. That is, the speed of rotation of the rotor is synchronous speed. That is speed at which the stator magnetic flux revolves. Then one of the disadvantages of the synchronous motor is that it is not self-starting. We have to use an additional method to make it self-starting. Then another property of the synchronous motor is that by varying the excitation, we can vary the power factor angle from lagging to leading, and also it can operate in unity power factor. Next, classification. A synchronous motor can be classified into three. One is cylindrical rotor. Here the air gap is uniform. The second one is salient pole. Here the poles are projecting and so the air gap is not uniform. The third one is permanent magnet synchronous motor. In this case, there is no need of any DC excitation. The rotor is a permanent magnet. We can see the voltage equation of a synchronous motor. But this diagram shows the equivalent circuit of one phase of a synchronous motor. V is the voltage that is applied to the one of the phase winding of the stator. And Jxs is the reactance of the synchronous motor known as synchronous reactance. And Eb is the back EMF. That is, it is the induced EMF. Here I assume that the resistance of the stator is negligible. That is why that resistance is neglected from this equivalent circuit. The angle between V and Eb is delta. That is why this Eb is written as Eb angle minus delta. Now from this equivalent circuit, it is clear that the applied voltage V is utilized for a drop across the synchronous reactance and for the back EMF. Therefore, V is equal to J into IAXS plus EB. But that is what is written here. That is equation number. Or equation number 1 can also be written as EB is equal to V minus J IAXS. But this is the phasor diagram of synchronous motor for three different power factor cases. The first one is under excited. Therefore, here the power factor angle is lagging. The second one is normal excitation. Here the power factor angle is unity. And third one is this one is the overexcited case where the power factor is leading. Therefore, by varying the excitation, we can vary the power factor angle of a synchronous motor. The current and power equations. From the basic voltage equation, we can see that if I take EB to the side, this will be V minus EB. And if I divide by Jxs, I will get the current. Therefore, V minus EB divided by Jxs is equal to Ia. That is what is written in equation 3. For Ia is equal to V minus EB divided by Jxs. Now, this can be resolved into two parts. One is V by Jxs. Now j axis is nothing but angle minus 90. Therefore, v by j axis can be written as v by x's angle minus 90 minus this is EB vector EB by j axis. Vector EB is actually magnitude of EB angle minus delta. That minus delta and this j is minus 90. Therefore, minus delta minus 90 is minus 90 plus delta. Therefore, this will be v by x's angle minus 90 minus EB by x's angle minus 90 plus delta. Now, in order to determine the power, we need Ia cos theta because power is equal to V into Ia into cos theta. Now, in order to get Ia cos theta, we can take the component along the reference direction. Therefore, we have to take cosine of this angle and cosine of this angle. Therefore, this will be written as V by x cos 90. Actually, cos minus 90 is equal to cos plus 90. Similarly, sine minus, so cos minus 90 plus delta is equal to cos delta, cos 90 plus delta. Cos minus theta is equal to cos theta. Therefore, this will be cos 90 and this will be cos 90 plus delta. But cos 90 plus delta is sine delta. Therefore, this will be the second term will be EB by x's sine delta. The first term is V by x's cos 90. But cos 90 is 0. The first term vanishes and we will get only the second term. Therefore, the Ia cos theta is equal to EB by x's sine delta. Now, power is equal to 3 times V into Ia cos theta. Therefore, if you multiply by 3VA into this equation, this will be 3VA EB by x sine delta. That is the equation for input power. Therefore, the input power is equal to 3 times V into EB by x sine delta. From this equation, it is clear that the input power is a function of load angle delta. As the input power increases, delta increases. Now, the equation for torque is equal to Pm by omega m. That is 3VEB by omega m into x sine delta. That is T max sine delta. But T max is equal to 3VEB by omega m into xs. But thus, the torque is constant for a given speed. If the speed is constant, then the torque is constant. It varies as the load angle delta varies, and the variation is shown in figure. When load angle is negative, the machine operates in braking mode. So here, the torque is negative, speed is negative. This is a braking condition. And here, the torque and delta both are positive. It is a motoring action. The torque speed characteristics. Here we can see that the speed is constant for all load. As you increase the torque or as you decrease the torque, the speed is constant. Now, even though the speed is constant, if you try to increase or decrease the mechanical load connected to the synchronous motor, then there is a possibility that it will vibrate to achieve a new location for the stability, and this is called hunting. Now, variable frequency drive. Our objective is to control the speed of the synchronous motor. Now, for that, we can see what are the factors on which the speed of the synchronous motor depends. The first thing is that the synchronous motor runs at a synchronous motor runs at a synchronous speed. That is, the rotor speed n is equal to ns, stator speed or stator magnetic flux speed. Therefore, in order to control the speed, the only option is that we have to think about how we can control ns. And ns is given by this equation, ns is equal to 120 f by p. Therefore, from equation 11, it is clear that ns and so n can be controlled by controlling frequency and number of poles. Now, frequency we can control, we can vary frequency, but varying number of poles is somewhat very difficult once the machine is constructed. Therefore, we will focus on how we can control the speed using frequency. The expression for induced EMF is given by this equation. And from this equation, we can get an expression for phi m. It is given by this equation. And that equation can be written as K into EB by F. Suppose I want to decrease my speed. Then I should decrease frequency. If I decrease frequency from this equation, phi m will be increased. Therefore, that will result in a saturation of the flux. In order to avoid this issue, what we are doing is that we will decrease frequency as well as induced EMF simultaneously so that EB by F is constant. Or we will increase or decrease frequency and applied voltage simultaneously so that V by F is a constant. And thereby we can make sure that our flux is constant. This method is known as variable frequency control and V by F control. Here, voltage and frequency are either reduced or increased simultaneously so that the flux remains constant and speed can be controlled. But this is the block diagram of the V by F control. I have already discussed why we need a V by F control, why we need to change V and F simultaneously. Now for here, this V star is the reference voltage and F star is the reference speed that we can obtain from this equation. This equation is actually obtained from this equation. You can see from this equation, F is equal to Pns by 120. But that is being written here. F star is equal to Pnd by 120, where Nd is the desired speed that is required. Suppose initially the speed was 1500 RPM. Now I want to change the speed to 1400. Then Nd is 1400. Corresponding to that speed, I have to find the frequency. That frequency is the reference frequency F star. Now, in order to achieve a constant flux, we should change Vs or stator voltage also, so that F star by Vs star is constant. Suppose initially the speed is 1500 RPM and the voltage is 200. Then V by F is equal to initially the frequency is 50 hertz and the stator voltage is 200 volt and the speed is 1500 RPM. Now I want to decrease my speed. Therefore, I should decrease my frequency. That I can obtain from this. So let it be F star is equal to 25. It need not be 25. You have to compute the actual value. Suppose it is 25 hertz. Then what should be my V? We know V by F is equal to constant. Earlier it was 200 by 50, that is 4. Therefore, here also I should get 4. That's my V by 25. The frequency is 25. V by 25 is equal to 4. Therefore, V is equal to 25 into 4, 100. Therefore, Vs star is equal to 100 volt. But that is this Vs star. That is calculated by this flux control block. And here I am giving the commanded frequency. The frequency which is required to change my speed. That F star is calculated from equation number 13. Now that is given to here. But this the input to the flux control is this frequency F. Now that frequency and Vs star are the reference quantities to this inverter. And the inverter needs a DC supply as input. Either you can directly connect a DC supply to this inverter, or you can connect a rectifier to an AC circuit that will produce a DC current. Then you can connect a filter that will give you an almost a good smoothened DC. That DC is given to the inverter. And the output of the inverter will be an AC of voltage Vs and frequency F. Therefore, this way we will get a desired frequency and desired voltage, and thereby V by F is constant, and by reducing the frequency we can reduce the speed. That's all.